So I did want to just go over the Tiguan SEL-R-Line Turbo, if we could do that. Let's see here. I'm going to pull this up on the screen here so I have it, and then we'll go from there. Let's see. Go back to home here. That way we can see a chat up here. We're going to talk about the Tiguan SEL-R-Line Turbo. I actually got to drive it, and it's pretty cool. I wanted to see if we had any questions about anything on this car. I just uploaded a video of it. It's already been viewed 1,000 times, which is kind of crazy. And it's pretty dang cool. The difference in horsepower is pretty awesome. Also, we'll do a chat here. If you got any questions at all, leave them down below, or leave them in the comments here, or leave them in the chat, I should say, and I'll answer them here. So if you're watching, please type in where you're at, where you're watching from. So let's see here. Top chat, live chat. Okay, so I've got the live chat up here. So if you got a question, please type it in there. Fritz, I know you're out there. That's probably you. Anybody else got questions, though? I'd love to hear them. Also, you can donate to the channel if you want, just by the super chat thing at the top there. That's kind of new for me, as I do all this out of my own pocket. So if you want to help me out on my channel, help grow my channel, you can donate something too, or you can buy a t-shirt or a hoodie or something too. So again, 2026 Tiguan SEL-R-Line Turbo is finally here. I have one on the ground, and it is available because it was reserved. Hey, Fritz. It was reserved, and they backed out of it because they didn't like the payment on it. So it is available again. But I actually drove it, like it. Yeah, a super fan. You're definitely a super fan. And then it's the one. I really like it. It's not a Tiguan R. The States won't ever get a Tiguan R. Volkswagen's pretty clear about that. But we do have stuff that this car's pretty awesome. It's got the wood interior. It's got the 268 horsepower. It sounds the same. It definitely drives different. It's a lot quicker than the SEL-R-Line was, the 2022. I'm sorry, 2025. But man, really nice car. I do have a green one coming. That is already reserved. No paddle shifters on it. And I also have a blue one with the black and Mistral leather interior. No paddle shifters on that one. That is almost to the dealership too. So I got 3 of these things total that are going to be here. The rest of them will have paddle shifters, and they are different colors. I got another blue one. I got a couple black with brown, a couple white with brown. Almost all of them have the brown interior. So there's that. But I will tell you, man, this car is pretty cool. It does have massage seats. It does have memory seats. The 268 horsepower is nothing to sneeze at. The car looks good. It doesn't look any different, but I'm really excited about this car because this car is finally something that we can use against an Audi Q5. We probably won't get any SQ5 buyers off of an SQ5 for this car, but a Q5 customer is definitely going to be interested in this car because it's about 25 grand cheaper. And I personally think it's a little bit nicer. We do also have, I'm trying to get the live chat to show up here. We do also have, as I said, we have 9 of these total coming. This was the first one. And then we have the green one that I have sold, the blue one, several black ones, and a white one. I'm kind of rehashing what I said earlier, just because there's more people on here now. As for Jettas, 2026 Jettas are arriving at the dealership. I got a whole bunch of those coming. They are, I'm looking at my iPad here. I'm loading it back up here. The 2026 Jettas, I have an SEL a Sport, and a Jetta SE, all coming. They'll be here soon. Let's see here, allow, and then my iPad's screaming at me to do something here, so I'm trying to log into it real quick here. Everything, the trouble is with all this stuff, everything logs itself out after a certain amount of time, and then I have to go back and log back in. So my apologies here if I'm not looking at the screen here. Um, but Jetta GLI, we have one coming that's Monterey blue with the black package. It's an automatic and it's already sold. So when it lands, it's going to be sold. We do also have a Jetta SEL in blue. Let me filter this out so it's just Jettas. We'll do that real quick here. Oh, and I have Golf R's. I have two Golf R's coming. I have a third one on order, two in the pipeline that are already on a ship in transit to us. One of them is going to be the lapis blue color. The other one is going to be the new gray color. So this is the Jettas. I'll get back to these here. What I have in the pipeline here. Filter this out here. Okay, so I have as 2026 Jettas are rolling in, and there's no kind of refresh, there's no real change on the cars, just the prices are different. There is a price increase on the Jettas due to tariffs. So no one's going to officially come out and tell you that, but it's a price increase. And there's not a real reason for the price increase other than the fact that there's tariffs on parts and things of that nature, and these cars are built in Mexico. So Jetta Sport, I have one in platinum gray, Jetta SE in King's red, Jetta SE in platinum gray, Jetta SEL in blue, Jetta GLI in deep black. That's a manual. It's a stick shift. So yes, the stick shift Jetta still lives in the GLI. And then an automatic GLI that's going to be that blue color. As I said, that one's already sold. Back at port, waiting to be loaded up. I have another Jetta Sport and actually two Jetta Sports. And then behind those, I have another Jetta Sport, another Jetta SE, all black. And then I have a number of them at the factory. Looks like I have 11 of them at the factory. Of those, another Jetta GLI Autobahn in Monterey blue, and then another Jetta GLI in King's red, and both of those are automatic. Jetta Sports, I have two more of those, and then a number of Jetta SEs. The big deal with the Jetta SEs is now there's a sunroof included. It's not, you don't have to find one that has a sunroof, so the sunroof will be included in those. I think the black wheel package will stay as it was, and I think it'll probably still be using the GLI with the old GLI wheels. Black wheel package. We won't know until we actually see one on the ground. No real change there. Tauses, I have a ton of Tauses in stock, 2025 Tauses, and there are a large number of them waiting for us at port that are being held as 2026s. So 2026 Tauses, I have 13 waiting at the port, another three that are at the factory waiting to come in. So let's see here. What do we have in the chat here? Why does radio stop working sometimes when driving and have to reset? SEL-R-Line 2022. The best way I can describe this is there's usually a software glitch that kind of does these. These radios have done this. They've done this for a long time, but it's kind of rare to have rapid fire issues with them. The 2024s are notorious for that. Were notorious for that. Alpine made the head units, and initially they thought it was the ribbon wiring that connected the head unit to the car, but they then figured out it was the software flash that they needed to do. So there was an update. So your car probably needs an update, and if you don't regularly take your car to the service department, they probably haven't told you about that. I mean, if you do go there regularly, ask them for a software update next time you visit for an oil change or something like that, to get the latest update for that radio. So if you have a 2022, I'm going to guess that's an MIB 2. Actually, that's probably an MIB 3 radio with the gesture control and the wireless connection. So I would suggest getting a software update. Make sure you have the most up-to-date software for the car. The hard reset You shouldn't have to do it every time you're in the car. It sounds like you're doing it fairly regular though. So I would have them check that out. Um, that'll also affect your rear view camera. So if your rear view camera goes out, where you hear the beep for the park sensors, but you don't see anything on the camera, that means you need to do a hard reset on your radio. Am I able to put non-ethanol in my 21 VW Jetta? Are you in the US or are you in Canada? Who is that? Fundip 963. Where are you at? So, let's see. Okay, so what's different with the 2026 R line and 2025? Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. I'm guessing you're referring to the Atlas. Uh, there's no difference at all. Wireless charging is the same. They still keep the USB up by the mirror. Nothing actually changed other than the model year itself. 2027, we believe, is going to be the year for the refresh. They're building units at the factory, test units, and it looks like they will be out or shipping out in probably around June to July. So the 2027s will be at dealerships sometime in July, possibly August. Um, and it sounds like it's a complete redesign of the car, but we don't know for sure. Everything's alleged. I do know that they're talking about flush door mount or flush door handles that pop out. And then they're also talking about a second screen where the passenger sits on the right side inside the car. I do know that the screen that they're currently using, again, this is allegations. These are all alleged. These are all rumors. But the screen that we're currently using for 24, 25, and 26 is done. You'll get the new screen. It sounds like Volkswagen is going to kind of streamline it all, and they're all going to end up using the screen that the ID4, ID Buzz, and Tiguan are currently using, including a 2027 Jetta, which sounds like that's coming too, with a new, possibly a new shifter, and also the new screen. I'm sorry, the new big screen, the 15-inch screen. My 2026 Turbo SEL came in last Thursday. Drove it and it was nice, but wouldn't take $1 off of it and wanted to lowball me on my GTI SE. I said no thanks. I'll keep my GTI. Okay, so here's what I will tell you. I I, I get why the dealer's not coming off the price just because this is not the car. Uh, the dealers know, number one, demand's going to be high for this car. Two, there's not going to be enough of them because Volkswagen is notorious for not building enough cars. That's the reason we sold out of 2025 SEL-R lines when we did. The 2025 SEL-R lines never lasted. We had one car that lasted over a week at our dealership. One time. It wasn't the color that people wanted. It was white with the gray interior. But I tell you what, everybody has lost their minds over the amber brown interior. The amber brown, no matter what the outside color is just flying off the shelves. So the blue color, the green color, the white color, the sandstone color, the black color with amber brown leather interior, people are losing their minds. So those cars won't last. So they did, from a dealer's perspective, they did the right thing and not coming off of that car, because what that does is when what some people don't know or maybe they don't care about is the fact that when you discount a car, it affects the average selling price, which also affects trade-in values, which also affects everything else down the line. So if they're constantly discounting cars below MSRP, then the car is going to have a low resale value. It's going to have all that stuff. All of that stuff plays into the equation. That car, they just simply won't build enough of them for the demand. Yes, that car is pricey, but the people that will buy that car, there are people who will not blink and buy that car over an Audi. As for them lowballing your GTI, they're trying to make a buck. They're trying to make money. I get it. I would just offer you fair value for the car and move on. That's how we would do it. What Tiguan SEO were you looking at? What color was it, and where are you at? Let's see. Plus, you're not losing out with the GTI. I will tell you that. That's dang 4866. Where are you at? If you're still in there, I saw the number drop, so I don't know if you're still on or not. But I think this car is going to be an absolute winner for us, and I don't see dealers taking money off of this car. If you're out there hoping, hey, I'm going to get 2 or 3 grand off of this car, don't count on it. Just don't count on it. And there will be dealers that are ballsy enough that where they will mark the car up rather than discount it. Because what's going to happen is, and I've said this before, I said this with the SEL-R-Line Tiguan, and people called me and said, "Why is the SEL-R-Line Tiguan so hard to find?" It's exactly what I told you would happen. The dealer principals, as in the GSMs, the general sales managers, the general sales manager's wife, the sales manager, this is a car is at the top of their list. If they have to drive their brand cars, they're driving this. So some of the people that were driving the SEL Premium R-Line Atlas and Atlas Crossport will flip to this car. This car's better. I think this car is better than the Tiguan. I'm sorry, the Tiguan SEL-R-Line Turbo is going to be better than an Atlas Crossport SEL Premium R-Line. I just think it is. Just because of the interior fit and finish, the massage seats, all of the stuff that you get with this car. And it costs less money. So your dealer principal is going to want to drive that car. Sandstone amber brown interior was nice, but so is the GTI Pensacola. Yeah, so as you see, the one I made a video of is the same car, just without paddle shifters. So yeah, we'll probably sell that car at MSRP. If you come in, how bad did they try to lowball you on the GTI? I mean, did you have like a Carvana offer or maybe a CarMax offer that you could have countered with and said, hey, this is what they're offering me, and you guys are lowballing me? I mean, how did that go down? I'm just curious. So I would recommend that. And the dealership, if the dealership's just looking to sell cars and they're a volume dealership, they're going to want to sell the car and move on. And if their market is anything like our market up here, our market has all but ground to a halt. I mean, ground to a halt in the last couple of weeks. And I don't know what that is. It could be weather related because our weather took a drastic turn. We've been in a severe drought for a long period of time, and all of a sudden we got rain and 2 cold fronts, and it brought temperatures way down. Instead of us being in the 90s all the time, we were in the 60s and 50s. So our market is hypersensitive to weather changes, and it takes a while to readjust. But I mean, absolutely, the brakes were applied to the sales that we're doing at our dealership. We're probably halfway to the number of cars we normally sell by now. So 34,000 with only three. Wait. Your GTI only has 300 miles on it, and they offered you 34. It's a GTI SE. Is that what you said? That I'm gonna look something up here. So I got questions for you on your GTI. You say it's a GTI SE with only 300 miles on it. Do you have the art velours or the leather seat kit? Number one. You said it was a 2025, so it's not a 380. They're making you take the hit for the depreciation off the lot. That's definitely what that is. I don't think they're lowballing you if you're at 34, because what they're taking into account is what they can sell one of theirs on the lot for. I know it sucks and it sounds like they're lowballing you, but maybe not so much. Let me look at. I'm looking at GTIs that I have in stock here and see, because there's discounts and there's incentives on the cars. So GTI SE right now 2025 41 40, okay, 41 with leather. If you do I have one with art velours? You had the leather package and you got it in August. Okay. Let's see here. So my art velours ones, they're all already sold. Okay, so art velour was cheaper. Now I'm down to all leather package ones. And they're all 41, 42. If you don't mind me asking, what did you pay for it when you got it new? I know you got some type of discount on it. You had to have. There's no way you would have paid full MSRP for that car. Just nobody does that. Let's see here, VWSTL. And if you guys are following along and you're just kind of curious as to what's going on, you can look at my website. My website is vwstl.com. vwstl.com. And if you look at our inventory on there, you'll see our discounts on stuff. And what we have, we're usually locked into something called MAP pricing. MAP pricing or MAP, minimum advertised price, where we cannot 39,000 is what you paid for it. So let's see here. If I look at GTI SEDSG. So right now I'm showing a $2,300 discount on mine for $37,572. So that's a GTI SE DSG with the leather package. So I'm at 37 plus dock fee on mine. So I'm actually cheaper than what your dealership was at. So they're looking at that and they know I've got $2,348 of discount on this car. If they take your car in and they offer you more than 34 for it, figure $2,000. That's a high number for the pack fee. That's the fee that they cost them to recondition your car. Even though your car only has 300 miles on it, this fee stays the same on every used car. Doesn't matter if your car needs it or not. The dealership's getting charged by their used car department this amount. It's an amount to cover brakes, tires, paintless dent repair, any kind of stuff they need to go into, the minor stuff. If it had hail damage, then they would deduct for that as well. So their $34,000 number doesn't sound that bad. I know it sucks to you because it's $5,000 back of what you paid for it, and you don't want to lose that $5,000. I understand that. However, it's the time in which you've had the car. You haven't had it that long. So yeah, that does, I get it, but they can't offer you 35. I mean, maybe you can get them to offer you 35, but I don't know that you would take that. I think you would still see that as maybe a loss. The rub is you got to eat some of the loss to get into that car. And they're not gonna, I don't think they're really taking that bad of advantage. I don't think they're taking advantage of you is what I'm getting at. So here's what I would suggest. If you still have an interest in that Tiguan SEL-R-Line, go take your car to CarMax if there's one there, or an AutoNation if there's a used one there, and maybe sell your car outright to them without using that dealership, and you might get a better number, or sell it to Carvana, see what they offer. Because Carvana always offers way over the top of everybody else. Carvana's numbers never make sense. But if you get a better Carvana number, let them come pick it up and you go buy the Tiguan outright. That's what I would suggest. However, just know that they're not going to come off the price of that car. And what that does for that car is that does help that car's resale value if you decide to trade out or lease it first and then buy it later. But I don't see the car's just going to have too much demand for the supply that's going to be out there because they're not going to build a lot of these. They're just not. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope that it kind of explains it. And I'm not saying that they are absolutely lowballing you, but at the same time, I get why the number's where it's at. And what color did you get? Because the color kind of matters too. So if you got silver, red, silver or red would tend to probably get you a lower value than a black, a white, or usually blue gives you a lower rating too. But that slate blue is a popular selling car. So the slate blue might get you a decent number as well. And I bet they probably do want your car back, but it's probably, the trouble is them taking your car back, it's competing with whatever they have on a lot. And I forgot about Moonstone. Yeah, Moonstone is a good color. So I don't think that they're really giving you a bad number. It just sucks to hear it because you got the car in August, you haven't had it a year yet. So I hope that makes sense to you. But try those other options. I mean, seriously, see what Carvana offers you for the car. I mean, if you're willing to travel to St. Louis, I'll sell you the Sandstone one I have here. It doesn't have paddle shifters. You can drive your car up here and drive that guy home. But Pensacola that's a drive. That's That's at least maybe 14 hours, but it's fun in a GTI, and I guarantee you to be fun going back in a Tiguan with a GTI engine in it. Yeah, I understand. I have a Golf R, and I just posted pictures from 8 years ago from my GTI that I had. Yeah, it's a great car. It's a great ride. It's fun. Uh, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. So yeah, stick with the GTI, and you know what? Let the drive it for a little bit. There'll be a 2027 of this car, and then there'll be a 2028. Maybe you get it in 2027, 2028. You got to let this newness wear off, because the dealers are just now getting them. Everybody's proud of this car, whether it's going to come to fruition or not, where there's not going to be any of these. I kind of think that there won't be. I don't think there'll be a lot of supply. I think there's going to be a lot of demand, and supply is going to be half of that. Let's see here. Yep, he can. You can look into getting your car shipped as well. So that's absolutely correct. So still, maybe wait it out a little bit and then go with it. Go with it next year, or go with it later in the year. Get some miles on the car and drive the car and enjoy the car. If you've driven the car 300 miles, you haven't enjoyed it yet. Take that thing on a Euro rally. Take it on a tour. Take it to a track. Do something with it. Have some fun. Put some miles on it. You need to double those miles. That's your homework. Double the miles to 600 miles, or even triple them to 900. You're still under 1,000. But have some fun with that car. Let's see here. Does anyone else have any other questions though? I got 9 people in there. If you guys could just type in where you're watching from. I'm always curious. But for whatever reason, I always get a lot of people from Florida. Florida, and then actually Canada, and then once in a while I'll get people from Arizona. So just let me know where you're at. Hoping for 2027 with some haptic. Yeah, are you referring to the GTI when you say 2027, or are you talking about the Tiguan? The Tiguan, it would be fair to expect maybe a refresh in 2028, but not before. So they might do something in 2027, but that car is going to be so new, because 2025 was kind of I don't want to call it a short run, because they got a lot of units out, but it was a quick run. And then 2026 is here. Of course, 2026 is going to be your normal long run, and then 2027 after that. And I don't foresee them really doing much in changes to a model that just came out, and it's got such a drastic change already. I don't foresee them doing anything different with that. As for the Atlas, though, I think that thing's going to be a complete redo, just like the Tiguan was, and that thing's going to snap some necks and turn some heads. I'm excited for the redo on the 2027 Atlas, the alleged redo, and the crosssport. So we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, just keep your eye on that Tiguan. I think the Tiguan's it's going to be a really cool car for some time. Let's see here. Love a good read. Houston, Texas. Awesome. I've sold the car to a person down there. I've sold 7 people in Florida, and I think 6 in Texas. So I've sold one to a young lady who's a suburb of Houston. I can't remember what the place is called. Now I'm gonna have to look it up. Let's see here. Let me go back here. Give me a second here. I'm gonna look something up, because now I'm curious. And I'm going to do it on a different tab here. So I'm going to get away from the live screen for a second here. So any other questions, type them in now, because I'm looking something up real quick here. And I'll be able to tell you. Okay, so it was a town called Manvel, Texas, which is somewhere near Houston. In Florida, I've sold people in Oviedo, Florida. Let's see. Is it West Miami? I think there's a West Miami. There's Dunedin. And oh gosh. I'm trying to think. Let's see here. Would love a would love to see a phone button on the steering wheel. I hate that I have to take my hands off the wheel and start or end the call. So, love a good read. Are you using App Connect? What I mean by that, are you using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto? So, the reason I asked that, let's see, I've not seen many in town, just one SE in black. Are you talking about the Tiguan, the SE-R-Line Tiguan, or just the regular SE? Um, let's see. The reason I ask you about the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay thing is because you can initiate a call using Apple Car, or there you go, Android Auto. Team Android. I'm on Android too. So you can say the keyword for getting Google to wake up and say, call Hope, call Steve, call Larry, call Mike, or call Sue Ariano or whoever. You can tell it to call and it'll call for you. And then here's the thing that I've noticed on mine. I have to touch the little phone receiver on the radio to hang it up, but the other person usually hangs up before I do anyway. Just let it go. They hang up. Doot, doot, doot. It goes. And then do that. As for the phone button, I don't think they're going to bring that back. I just don't see it because it had a very brief stay when it started, and then they took it away, and they figured out that it wasn't needed, I guess, because you're alerted when a call comes in on the screen and also on your steering wheel. And most of the cars, my Golf R included, on the steering wheel, all I have to do is hit the OK button, and it'll accept the call. Or I arrow down because on that same spot, it'll show up. In my car, it's full color on that display, so it shows up green and red for decline. I can arrow down and change it from accept to decline while I'm driving, and then hit OK, and it declines the call and sends it to voicemail. If you didn't know that, that should help you. Let's see. As for the Tiguan's, you said you're not seeing a lot of them on the road. It's going to take a little bit because the Tiguan was such a popular seller, but everybody knows that older boxy style, and that is it takes a little bit, and the Tiguan has gotten off to a slow start. Here's what I've learned, or what our dealership is learning too, is right now, if it's not an R-Line, they don't want it. The R-Line looks so good compared to the other ones that everybody's going to the R-Line. Everybody wants the R-Line Black, or the R-Line SEL-R-Line, or now the SEL-R-Line Turbo. They did such a good job on those two that the regular SE and the Tiguan S are not getting the love. And part of that, I will say a big part of that is the fact that there's no fun colors. None of the fun colors are available in the lower trims except for blue. The Monterey Blue is the only color you can get on a Tiguan SE that doesn't require you to go to the R-Line to get it. If you want the avocado green, you got to go to an R-Line, either the SE or the SEL. If you want sandstone, you've got to go to the SER-Line or the SEL-R-Line. The opal white pearl, okay, you get that from the R-Line up, but you get, I believe, is just pure white on the base and the SE. But you get opal white pearl on the two R-Lines. And if you want the black roof, well, you got to go with the R-Line because that's the only way you're going to get it. So I think that's kind of how that alignment shakes out. It makes it kind of interesting. So the BMW, yeah, the BMW had it. A lot of other manufacturers have done the phone button on the steering wheel or right there. But I'm not trying to sound pompous or anything, but just because they do it doesn't mean it has to be that way. Because dealerships, manufacturers are always trying to find new ways to do stuff, and dare I say it, cut costs or make things cost efficient. And having buttons, physical buttons that need to be replaced or get broken or get jammed or get stuck, you get jelly on it, you get gum in it, you get gunk, whatever. Whereas a touchscreen, bap. If there's something wrong with the screen, you just take it out, plug a new one in, and you're done. plug and play is the way they go. So that's kind of, I think that's kind of where the manufacturers are going. Um, but I don't know. Let's see. I'm thinking of another option. I just don't think they're. I don't see it coming back. I don't see why they would bring that back. Because the steering wheels are pretty much unified throughout all the cars. So the Taos, the Tiguan, the Jetta, they're all using the same steering wheel. The Atlas is too, unless you get an R-Line and then you get that special steering wheel, and that's it. And they got away from, with the exception of the GLI. The 26 GLI will be interesting because it probably will still have. I kind of think it's still going to have the capacitive touch steering wheel, but there's a good chance they could have changed that where it has physical buttons again, because they said they made that promise that they were going back to physical buttons on so much stuff. And they may have done that on the 26 GLI as well. But that capacitive touch steering wheel, they kept it on the ID4 for 2025. It's on the ID Buzz. And right now it's on the GLI as a 2025. So I don't foresee them going backwards on that. If they kept the capacitive touch, that would be a good opportunity to keep a phone button on a steering wheel, or to put a phone button on the steering wheel. But since they're going away from that, I don't really see much hope for that, if that makes sense. Does anybody else have any other questions? I got 8 people watching. Tell me where you're at. If you got a question, it doesn't matter. If it's about the weather, if you want to talk about the hurricane, it's about to hit Jamaica or anything, fine, so be it. I'll give you an answer. But go ahead and type a question in there if you got anything. Also, what else will I tell you? Oh, I did talk about the 2026 Golf R. I have 2 of them coming. The green, I'm sorry, the gray color and the blue color. Neither one of these are sold as of yet. However, I do expect them to be sold pretty soon. The black package is gone for 2026. There won't be a black package. You still have the sunroof, and I do believe you can still get a Euro package. I'm not 100% sure, and that'll give you the Acropovic exhaust. That's a tongue twister. I can never say that one right. So that will give you that. 2026 GTIs, I do have them on the ground and coming. So dang 480, 4866. If you're looking, if you're comparing your car to the 2025s on the ground, just be warned that 2026s are coming and are already on boats on their way over from Germany. So that's going to affect your trade value too, and that's probably going to make it go down even more. So if you're really serious about getting out of that car, maybe you go ahead and do it and kind of swallow the pill because they gave you that number. But be warned that the 2026s are landing, and then when that happens, your value is going to go down even more. Let's see. What other questions? Do we have any other questions? No. So I guess I'll just touch base on some other things there. The 2026 model year looks like everything got a price increase. So if you're looking at 2025s now, if you're considering buying something, I would suggest getting your 2025 now. The 2025s are going to have discounts on them and incentives. But in 2026, I don't see a lot of that just because the prices of the cars have changed so dramatically. I'll give you an idea. Atlases, like the SE Tech trim on the Atlas, is now 50 grand. When that car first came out in 2017 going into 2018, a SE Tech was like 30, I'll call it 36 grand, 37 grand. It is now a $50,000 trim, especially if you're getting captain's chairs, black wheels, and a sunroof. You're going to have that. It's going to be 50 grand. The Peak Edition is going to probably push 51 grand. So you're going to see that. The Atlas Crossport SEL Premium R-Line now is touching 56 grand. The Atlas SEL Premium R-Line as a 2026 is now touching 58 grand. So we're creeping up on 60 grand for an Atlas. And that's crazy because the SEL Premium version of the Atlas, when it came out in 2017, was 48 to 49 grand. Now, here's the crazy part. What's even crazier about that is the position that the Atlas came out in 2017, it still holds today. And what I mean by that is at 48 grand, an SEL Premium Atlas, there wasn't an R-Line to start with. There was only the SEL Premium Atlas. The SEL Premium Atlas was fully loaded, didn't have special wheels, didn't have special bumpers or anything like that, was 48 grand when the competition was already in the 50s, the high 50s, and approaching 60. So the Atlas was still miles below that. Now, as the Atlas approaches that 60 grand, the difference is the competition moved up too. Especially if you're comparing this to a Jeep or a Stellantis product. We'll call it Jeep, Wagoneer, the Armada, anything like that, 70, 80 grand. Easy. We're not going to get there. We don't have a vehicle that touches that other than the ID Buzz. That's a van, and the minivan market is 60 grand. The ID Buzz, everyone seems to think that that car is overpriced for what it is, but it's an EV, whereas everything else in the class is not. And EVs are not cheap. They just aren't. And they're money losers for every manufacturer that builds them. They don't make money, period. So let's see here. I'm looking forward to a hybrid Tiguan in the future. When do you think that will show up? Hybrid Tiguan, fingers crossed, 2027. 2027, it's alleged that there will be 3 hybrids. The official statement that Volkswagen does is they say their volume leaders, the top 3 volume leaders will get a hybrid powertrain. That would be Atlas, Atlas Crossport, and Tiguan. So those 3 would get a hybrid. I am excited about the opportunity for that to happen. They keep kicking the ball down the road a little bit, kicking the can down the road, I should say, and delaying that or changing that up. But I do believe that it's coming sooner rather than later. I believe 2027 will be the year. But I also believe that 2025 and 2026 would be the year, and they pushed it off. So I don't get to work in their buildings and see what's going on, but I believe the hybrid's coming. It's just they're trying to perfect it. So I think we're really, really close. Let's see. Other rumors that I can talk about, that I will talk about, that again, keep in mind, guys, I don't have any kind of official Volkswagen connection or anything like that. These are all rumors that I hear. These are things that I can talk about, and I always say that they're alleged. The Jetta was supposed to be axed, and this refresh was supposed to be the last one, allegedly. And they were looking at ways to get rid of the Jetta, to eliminate the Jetta and be purely SUV. There's other manufacturers that have done that. I believe that Buick, if they haven't eliminated all of their sedans, they're really close. Cadillac, if they haven't eliminated all of their sedans, they're really close. I believe the CT6 is cut. The CT5 may be something that they're keeping for a little bit. There's the XT6 and the XT5, and then they're going all electric. They're going all in on electric. And then they're keeping the gas Escalade. Well, the Escalade's having its own problems right now with engine issues, ongoing engine issues. But the manufacturers are really in a funk. But we're also hearing a rumor that they're possibly looking at bringing back the Passat. Oof. Fingers crossed. That would be great. Don't know that for sure. I love the idea of the Passat coming back because the ID7 didn't work for America. They figured that out. The Arteon got cut. They should have kept the Arteon. They should have kept the Passat. Yes, they're not going to give these barn burning numbers that they're looking for, but at the same time, you could manage them. The other thing that I would hear that I hear is they might be looking at adding or introducing all-wheel drive to a sedan. Again, please, let's do that. There's a lot of opportunity for Volkswagen to change some things up, especially in the market we're in now with tariffs and things of that nature, and people are desperate for an affordable car. And when I say desperate, I mean they don't want SUVs. They're looking at sedans again because it's all they can afford. It's all they can afford, and the manufacturers don't listen. And when I say manufacturers, I am not talking about just Volkswagen. I'm talking about everybody in the gang. GM, greedy. Ford, greedy. Stellantis, super greedy. Okay, they're all super greedy about these SUVs and thinking they can make maximum profit on every SUV they sell. A sedan might yield a profit of hundreds of dollars, whereas an SUV gives them thousands of dollars of profit in each one if they sell it at MSRP. Volkswagen doesn't have that big of a markup in their cars, and Atlas has on the high end $2,200 to $2,500 of markup. That's it. The high end Atlas, the base Atlas, 1,500. That's it. That's not huge. You should allow your dealership to make that. Just saying, you should. It's not like they're ripping you off. They're just not. Um, the Tiguan, probably $1,200. Not a big markup. ID4, ID Buzz, yeah, they're not making a lot of money on these at all. They're just not. Um, Whereas your Expeditions, your AT4s, your Yukon Denali's, your the Denali trim in any car, the Canyon, the Terrain, the Acadia, huge price jumps. Just not worth it. Not necessarily worth it. Um, so the Atlas is priced right where it needs to be. I think it's still competitive in the market. Does anyone else have any other questions there? I kind of rambled there and I kind of came back to it. I kind of saved it at the end there. But I just don't foresee. I would love to see prices stabilize or come down, but I don't see how that happens. We live in a world where prices never go down. They always, if they plateau, they'll hold for a little bit and then they'll have a price increase again. But we never go backwards. And that's unfortunate, but that's how the world works. And with tariffs and things like that, I just don't see how a manufacturer can go backwards. But I do also know that we're getting us to the point where people are getting priced out of the market left and right with SUVs. And that's why I think sedans need to make a comeback. The sedans, um, like I said, the Jetta and the Passat would be great if they came back. I would love another shot at the Arteon too, because they never marketed that car. They never advertised that car. It was an all-wheel drive sedan, um, and I think it would have done well. It's just they had to get the price point right. Maybe they make that car again and they get the price point right. Who knows? But I know that going strictly EV is not going to be the answer. Hybrid technology is going to have to be in there somewhere, as well as electric and as well as gas. So they're probably going to have to manage all three powertrains. So those are my suggestions. That's my words. Um, Again, I'm not backed by Volkswagen or anything like that. Does anyone else have any questions? You guys are really quiet. So does anyone else have any other questions, or you just like letting me cook? um, so let's see. I did talk about Jetta. I did talk about Taos a little bit, that we have a ton of them coming. There's no changes on the Taoses. They get a price increase as well. Everything gets a price increase from 2025 to 2026. Jetta, Taos, Tiguan, Atlas, Atlas Cross Sport. ID Buzz, I did talk on that a little bit. We don't know what's going to happen with that vehicle. We don't know if there will be a 2026 for the U.S. We do know that they paused production on that car overseas. And we did have a couple of them that were still to be built that got rescinded. So not sure what's going to happen with that, because the tax credit came to an end, and that definitely changed everything up. So as for the ID buses we have in stock, we see that Volkswagen has offered incentives on that car in other countries. Canada has incentives on it. New Zealand got incentives on it to reduce the MSRP. However, they haven't done anything for the states yet. So that makes me think that they think the states are going to do fine. I don't know. But Canada has an incentive. and so does Australia. Sorry, New Zealand, I believe it. It's either Australia or New Zealand. I can't remember which one. It might actually be Australia. And I'm sorry, I'm mixing those two up because those people don't like each other. They don't. um, let's see. Um, as for new stuff coming out, there's not really anything that we're hearing on new models. New models that we would love to see here: T-Cross. I would love to see a T-Cross here. Uh, the Passat that's over there as a wagon would be nice. Tiguan R. Although now that we have this Tiguan SEL-R-Line Turbo, I think the chances of us getting a Tiguan R are slim to none to never. Um, let's see. Trying to think what else. Why VW Atlas can't be higher? Hyundai Palisade top trim is going for 70K, and it's a garbage SUV. Um, I don't know. I mean, I think Volkswagen likes the competitive spot that they're in. Um, I think they like it right where they have it because it's cheaper than anything out there, pretty much. If you go with an Explorer, a fully loaded Explorer is going to cost you more. A fully loaded anything GM or GMC is going to cost you more. A fully loaded Cadillac is going to cost you more. So they like having that ripple. Um, the Hyundai Palisade, I can't stand the new design. I can't stand it. I think it's hideous. However, it is going to sell like crazy, and it already is because people, number one, it's taller. Number one, it's a little bit bigger. Number two, number three, everybody seems to think it looks like a Land Rover. I I don't care. I think it's ugly. I can't stand the headlight design. It's got too much silver on the sides. I don't like anything about it. But know this, next year is when the new Telluride comes out, and the Telluride's going to have to compete with the Palisade, which tells you that they got to make sure they knock everybody's socks off with the Telluride. So Hyundai, Kia are the same company, but they've done so well with the Palisade that now they've got to outdo it with the Telluride. So what's that tell you? And I hope to God that Volkswagen knows this and they are planning this with this refresh. I hear this refresh is pretty dang sharp. The interiors are different again. So we're changing the interiors, is what I hear, allegedly. And so the interiors are going to be different, which makes me think they're going to be more like Tiguan interiors. Ooh, that would be nice. So I think the seats that are in the Tiguan are going to make their way over to the Atlas, is what I think is going to happen. And those seats in the Tiguan are really, really comfortable. I think they're going to make their way over to the Atlas. I think the Atlas is going to get a lot more tech. There's so much stuff that they're doing in Europe with these cars that they're not doing in the US, but the US, they're so scared of getting sued by people that they water things down and take them out. To give you a case in point, emergency assist is in all of these cars. So what emergency assist does is the car, if it detects that it detects that you're incapacitated, your hands slump off the wheel, it will tell you to take over steering. If you don't do that, it starts chirping at you. It'll start lunging the brakes or kind of mashing the brakes to try to jolt you awake. If that doesn't work, it throws on the hazards, it comes to a halt, and it honks the horn. In Europe, that car does more than that. What it does is it actually initiates a lane change and pulls all the way over to the shoulder and throws on the hazards and honks for help. US, no, it doesn't do that. They took away the pull over part to the shoulder. So it doesn't do that. The other things that the cars have, there's Pro Park Assist. There's actually in Europe, you have it where you can park your car with your phone, just like Hyundai does here in the States with the Smart Park or whatever they call it. Volkswagen has that technology. They won't bring it here. They keep backpedaling and not bringing it. Matrix LED headlights. They still aren't bringing the full-blown Matrix LEDs from Europe, and they say it's some type of government approvals or whatever that they have to have. So there's that. There's a lot of things that, seriously, these cars do over there that they just won't do here that people are worried about. So if you go on the Volkswagen's, I think it's a TikTok account. They also have a YouTube account and all that. just watch those videos. There's so much cool stuff that they put in videos over there that those cars will do that they won't do here. So we get cheapened out on a lot of stuff. Let's see, the new Telluride will be shown next month at the LA Auto Show. I wish I could go out there and see that, but yeah, it's gonna look. I'm sure it's gonna look great. I'm sure it's gonna be a monster. I can't stand the current Telluride. I think it's hideous. I think of the two cars, the Palisade is a way better looking car than the Telluride, and I'm talking about previous to this new 2026 Telluride Palisade. The ones previous to it, that was a sharp looking car. Um, the new Atlas. If you look at the 2026 Terramont Plus, I believe it is. There's a video out. I even put it in my community page. I posted a link for a video of it. Look at that video and look at how cool that car looks. We could get some of that. We could get all of that in the States, but it's doubtful that we'll get most of that. They're just going to water that car down. They're just going to gut it out and give us something really watered down. I'm not sure why Volkswagen is so afraid of bringing stuff to the U.S. market from the Chinese market. I mean, what they should stop doing is stop paying the people who tell them what to take off of the car. Just get rid of that department. If it's good for the Chinese market, why can't it be good here? Plain and simple. We're the second biggest market behind China. I would think so. With the Atlas, yeah, why not? Just bring it here. Let us tell you what it doesn't need. Plain and simple. Let's see. What else? Let's see here. It will be here for the new Atlas and Tiguan, Atlas facelift. And so, Fritz, I don't think that the Atlas is getting another facelift. I think it's a total redesign. I I would be surprised if it's just a facelift on the Atlas, because the Atlas is overdue for a total redesign. It's been around since 2017, so it's lived 8 years, or 9 years if you count 2026. Yeah, so 9 years without a redesign. So 2024 was a refresh and facelift. 2021 was a refresh and facelift. And yeah, so I think it's overdue. Tiguan, and then Tiguan will be 2028. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Does anyone else have any other questions? Because I'm approaching an hour here, and I'll figure out. I'll just go ahead and cut it at an hour if we don't have any other questions. But I did want to get on here and just talk about that Tiguan SEL-R-Line. Great car. Love the drive of it. Has the giddy up. It has the wood interior. It has the massage seats. This car was fantastic. If you get the opportunity to test drive one, go to your dealer and test drive it. And I'm serious. Do that sooner than later, because what's going to happen, word's going to get out about this car. And they're just now showing up at dealerships. So right now they're kind of under the radar because they're not showing up on people's websites. That's a secret. They're not showing up yet. It takes them probably 4 to 6 days to show up on the website. So they're not on the websites yet. But when they're on the websites, you can believe people are searching. You might be in Texas, but there's somebody from New York. There's someone from Pennsylvania. There's someone else that's done a nationwide search looking for that Tiguan. So you're not just in competition with your guy down in Glendale and your guy over in Scottsdale for that car in Arizona. There's somebody in Pennsylvania looking at that car, someone in Utah, someone in Montana looking for that car too. So don't get complacent and think, oh, I'll just hop down to the dealership on Tuesday and pick one up or test drive it, and then I'm going to lowball them on the offer on the car too. They're going to give me $2,000 to $3,000 off. Not going to happen. Just not. If you're lucky enough to find a dealer that's willing to do that, that's foolish enough to do that, buy the car by all means. But I just don't think it's going to happen that way. This car is going to have way more demand than there is supply, and that's going to keep the price high. And that's Volkswagen's already figured out, because the incentives changed in October and September. In September, we had incentives that were on all of the Tiguans, and then they modified it mid-month in September, and excluded Tiguan SEL from it because they realized they were selling those cars way too quickly and they couldn't keep up with them. They weren't going to have enough Tiguan SELs or SEL-R-Lines to satisfy demand. So they eliminated the incentives on that car. So it went Tiguan S, Tiguan SE, and Tiguan SE-R-Line, and then that's it. So it's like that from this point forward, and I guarantee you it's going to stay that way. So don't expect any kind of discounts on a Tiguan SEL-R-Line. Just don't. It's been a while since Volkswagen's had a car that's been that popular, and it is. It just is. And when the Atlas first came out in 2017, the SEL Premium Atlas was the hard ticket to get. That was the first time that people bought from the top down on that car, and a Tiguan is going to be the same way, top down. Tiguan SEL-R-Line. Okay, I can't get an SEL-R-Line. Okay, I'll come down to an SER-Line. Well, you don't have the SER-Line that I'm looking for. Maybe I'll get an SE. I don't know. But beware of cars that sell from the top down rather than the bottom up. And the Tiguan's going to be that car. So, does anyone else have any questions, though? I appreciate all of you tuning in. Fritz, Joseph, love a good read. If I'm mentioning your name and you're already gone, I still appreciate it, though. You can come, but you'll see this if you watch this later. Dang 4866, thanks for participating. And G Carp 14, thank you for participating. I hope I answered your question for you. Like I said, at some point I will get regular with these, but right now it's just kind of when I can. I'm actually on vacation this week, so I can actually do one today. That's why I did one. So if you guys have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. You can always comment on a video. I'm sure I got a video for that. I do have memberships. I work on stuff that'll be members only content. But if you're interested in being a member on the channel, it helps my channel too. And then on the super chats, you can always donate that as well. If you got any questions for me, though, again, leave them in the comments. You also have my email address for work. It's on my channel there. And I appreciate all the love and the follows that I get. And if you got a friend that's interested in a Volkswagen, show them my channel. Get them to subscribe. Send them videos. Share my videos. Share them a lot. The more you share them, the more it helps me and it helps my channel. It helps my SEO score, my algorithms, and all that. So I appreciate you all. With that being said, thanks a lot, guys. Oh, wait. Let's see here. Starbucks Ambassador. Sorry I'm late. Another reviewer stated that there will be no paddle shifters for the SEL-R-Line going forward. What say you? Okay. You're going to like my answer. That is not accurate. Okay? So the way the Tiguans are coming, I have 3 right now. A sandstone one that just got delivered, a green one that's coming, it's already sold, and a blue one that's coming that don't have paddle shifters. There's a $100 window credit on all 3 of those cars for the lack of paddle shifters. The remaining 6 after that don't have the window credit, which in translation means they will have paddle shifters. So this is just a early production versus later production problem. So the first batch of those will not have paddle shifters, but they will have a window credit. Every single one after that will have paddle shifters. If it shows a window credit of $100 in the options section, avoid that car if paddle shifters are important to you. If you don't care about the paddle shifters, then don't worry about it. But if you want paddle shifters, find one. You can find a window sticker or call the dealer and say, does that vehicle come with a window? Does it have the window credit for paddle shifters, or does it actually have them? If they tell you they don't know, you can educate them and tell them, if the Monroney label or your invoice shows a $100 credit for paddle shifters, then it doesn't. So the dealership absolutely should be able to tell you whether or not it has paddle shifters or not, even with the car not being there, because it shows up in the options line on our intranet screens. So they will know. So yes, you can get paddle shifters. You're just going to have to wait for a later produced model, which I believe those are actually currently being built now, or they're about to be built, and they will have paddle shifters. It looks like it's a supplier issue, and it's nothing more than that. These first ones, they didn't want to delay them and wait for paddle shifters, so they built them without, and they gave you a window credit. So there's your answer. I hope that helps. Okay, what's your other question? You said you have another one. Starbucks ambassador. You got in under the wire because I was getting ready to sign off. So, does anyone else have a question? You might want to chime in while we're waiting on Starbucks. Let's see here. I'm still waiting on you. So if you guys didn't get the gist of what I was asked there, um, the story that's going around, there's reviewers saying that they don't come with paddle shifters. They will come with paddle shifters on later versions. If the ones that are arriving at dealerships right now do have a window credit, and I think almost all of them do, so it doesn't matter where your dealer is, you're probably going to have a window credit Tiguan without paddle shifters. Later produced ones will have them. Let's see here. Let's see. I've had paddle shifters on several VWs. I've never used them once. I have them on my 25 Cross Sport now and never use them. Who cares? Yeah, there's not a lot of people who care about that. Now, I have a Golf R and I have these really huge golf paddle shifters and I use them all the time. But a Tiguan is not necessarily where I put them, but this is more of a performance type SUV, so it kind of makes sense. As for the Atlas and the Cross Sport, I think it's just the novelty thing to have. I don't know. I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm not saying I agree with you. I know that it's about it. It's not even 50-50. Some people use them. Other people, what are those? They don't even know what they are. So you're right. I mean, driving an Atlas or a Cross Sport, it's not a big deal. The Tiguan, I think it's going to matter to some. It's not going to matter to others. But the ones that it doesn't matter to, come get your Tiguan. Come get it now. It's pretty cool. Okay, so let's see here. Put the question in there. Will they fix issues with the MMI going out? Amber Thompson. So what year is your car? I'm going to guess that you have a 24, possibly a 25 Atlas, but what is the car you're referring to? Starbucks. So I recently just picked up a 2022 TAK. So is that a Tiguan SEL-R-Line black? It says, okay, so 2025. It is an Atlas or Cross Sport you're referring to? Apparently they're having issues with burning oil every 1,000 miles. Do you know anything about this? Just the model 22 and 23 model year. Oh, Amber's is a Tiguan. Okay. If you're having an issue with your screen blacking out, there's going to be a software fix for that. They probably just haven't had it yet. But here's the thing. My wife just got an ID4, a 2025, and she's having that issue too. So I think that it's going to be a problem with software, and there's going to be an update for that. And also, I don't know about the 25 Tiguan's, but the 25 ID4s now have over-the-air updates where they can do an update over the air where you don't have to go to the dealership. That might be a remedy for that. But what I would do, if you have a 25, you probably don't have that many miles on it. Do you have 1,000 miles on this car yet? So what I would say is when you're in for your oil change, go ask them about a software update on the car. Every Tiguan forum has multiple posts about burning oil loss. You're not wrong. Volkswagen has what they do called they have something they call an oil consumption test, where they're testing the oil consumption, and as long as it loses under a certain amount, they consider there's not to be an issue. But there's a lot of talk about how that is, I don't know, their numbers seem to be off on what they consider normal and what normal should be. But it's a manufacturer that's saying this. It's a dominant global manufacturer. So I don't know where that goes. But that was the old 2.0 engine. I don't know that that's going to be, since they're using a different engine on a 25s, I don't think that's going to be the same issue for this car. And I would be lying if I said I haven't had customers that had this issue. But the common denominator for the customers that I've had with this issue is they drive a lot of miles. To give you an idea, I have a lady who's in a 2020, it's either a 22 or 23 Tiguan SE. She put 100,000 miles on it in, was it 30? It wasn't even 40 months. It was under 4 years. It was 3 years and some change. I mean, she does work in her Tiguan. So she put, actually, she wasn't at 100,000 miles. She was at 99 something. And she was having oil consumption issues. Um, so they had the car in and they determined that she was within normal parameters. But when you drive, I would say she was driving somewhere around 28 to 30,000 miles. It was pretty fast. I can't remember what the parameters were. She may have only had the car 2 years. I think she put 100,000 miles on it in just over 2 years. So that puts her, I think, because I think she said something around 30,000 miles a month, which was insane to me. But she drives that car everywhere. So she definitely had an issue with oil consumption, and she was doing tests on the car with the car. I don't know how those play out because I'm not in service, but I know that she was having an issue with it. Let's see. So my service rep over at my local VW says it's a common problem for Volkswagens to burn oil or for them to need frequent top offs. That is not untrue. That is probably accurate. Um, but as I said before, I think I only see that on Tiguan's. I haven't really seen that on anything else. And I'm talking about the older Tiguan's, the 2022s to 2020. What was the last year? Yeah, 24s. So, or actually, that would be 2018s to 2024s. Sorry, because they all had that same 2.0 engine. The problem did not reach the 2024 model year. There is, in fact, a class action lawsuit. I come to find out for 2023 Tiguan's. Yeah, I did hear that there was some type of class action or something going on, but I didn't know for sure. Again, I'm not gonna know that, but let's see here. Amber, back to your question real quick. Yeah, like I said, I would suggest definitely contacting your dealer for see if there's a software update. If there's not a software update, I would presume that there's going to be one relatively quickly, just because that car, um, the way Tiguan's work is, since this is a new launch, so to speak, since this car is all new, the way they handle this, the way Volkswagen as a corporate entity handles this, anytime one comes into a service department, the service department has to open a service ticket on it like they normally would. Now, the difference is a service technician, usually the service technician is your guy. He's the one that knows, hey, this car, let's see if there's a technical bulletin on this car. Let's see what this problem A, problem B, problem Q, whatever. This is the remedy, and I'll fix it. The difference is with these 2025 Tiguan's and the 2026s, I'm sure, are going to be the same, especially with the SEL-R-Line Turbo. When there's a service ticket issued, they have to open a ticket on it. Oh my gosh, I can't remember what the term is now, but there's an engineer ticket. Essentially what it means is an engineer at Volkswagen corporate in Virginia is assigned to that ticket. And that technician, now his hands are tied. He is not to do anything to that car, problem solve or anything on that car without getting input from, I think it's a TQM or something. I can't remember what it's called. But that tech in Virginia tells him or her what to do to that car, step by step. First thing, they'll log in, look at the ticket, look at the lines of code or whatever they put in there for problems, and they'll try to diagnose it from there and tell them what to do. Okay, we're going to replace this first. Do this first. And then the tech will do that, respond back, did not fix the issue. So then I go with something else. But everything is orchestrated by corporate for that ticket. So that what translation means is when you check your car into service, you're probably going to leave it there for a while. You're probably going to need a loaner car because now there's communication between corporate and the technician working on your car. Because the reason they do that is that way corporate gets everything, every little thing that goes wrong with this car goes to them at corporate, and they can diagnose it, they can figure it out, and they can issue a remedy for the production line or whoever else. It's kind of a smart way to do it, but at the same time, it's kind of inconvenient for the consumer from a time standpoint, if that makes sense. Let's see here. Okay. I mean, I DoorDash for a living, and so far I put 3,000 miles on the car in 1 month, and I love my Volkswagen out. Okay, so just so what? Okay, so Starbucks ambassador, what year is your car? Did you say you had a 23? Is that what you have, a 23 Tiguan? I'm scheduled next week for an oil consumption test. So two things here. First off, you probably want to be carrying oil in your car, just so you know, and make sure you have the right weight oil, whatever they recommend for you, because you're door dashing, number one. Number two, if it's your primary income, you're probably going to want to have, I don't know if you have a backup vehicle or something like that, but I would suggest getting something. Just because they're not gonna, if they know you're door dashing, they're not gonna want to give you a loaner car. So and then they're probably going to monitor the miles on the car, and then if you put 3,000 miles on the car while you have it, they might want to charge you for that. So you might want to look into that kind of on the down low. Let's see, or maybe get a rental car. I know that's going to cost you. That's probably going to eat up all your tips and everything else. I used to deliver too, so I know how it is. I know how it gets. But at the same time, I wish you all the luck with that. I don't know how that comes out. If they determine that it is burning a lot of oil, then they're going to probably want to break down the engine and investigate more. It could be head gaskets. It could be, who knows, gasket seals, a piston ring. Who knows? It could be a number of things. But let's see. Does anyone else have any other questions? Because I stayed on here an extra 17 minutes. Someone asked a question down on the wire. I hope I kind of answered everybody's question here. I think I have. Yeah, I think I've answered everybody's question. Does anyone else have a question? I will say this. I think we all should say a prayer, and if that's not your thing, but just send good positive energy to the people down in Jamaica, because this storm, something you may not know about me, I did go to school for meteorology. I went to school for architecture and meteorology. This storm is not anything to play with. And this storm, if it were up to me, I would have told everybody in Jamaica, get the F off the island. Get off now. Leave. And I think it's too late for that now. This storm has done some rapid intensification. I think they had a new term. They called it super hyper rapid intensification, which is another level above rapid intensification, because it went from a tropical storm yesterday to a category 4, almost a category 5. And the fact that this thing is not moving, it's only moving 1 to 4 miles per hour, and it's going to sit over land, and it's going to rain at the rate they're forecasting somewhere between 30 and 50 inches of rain. And I don't know how many of you are good at math, but 50 inches of rain, that's a lot. That's over 4 feet. I heard of one forecast say that they could get 60 inches of rain. Well, that's 5 feet. 5 feet of water falling on every square inch of that land. And there's mountains. And there's people up there that are running up to the mountains to get away from the sea because the level's going to rise up. This does not play well. And I hope that these people were able to get out or find adequate shelter. I don't know that there's shelter on Earth that can handle a 60-inch rainfall, period, anywhere, anywhere on the planet. I don't know how you handle that. There's no infrastructure that handles that. And then you add to that 150-mile-an-hour winds. So any tree that's in the ground with 60 inches of rain coming down is not holding soil or anything. Every tree is going down. This is bad. So pray for those people. Please keep them in your thoughts. And let's see. I'm just making sure that I answered all the questions here. Also, my service tech told me they'll top it off for free anytime. I won. You definitely did. You'll be visiting them every week, so get the guy's first name, find out what kind of cookies he likes. Bring him cookies. Keep him on your good side. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. If you haven't, please like this video. Like whenever you see one of my videos, please like it. It helps the algorithm. And like I said, share my videos. Share them on your Facebook page, whatever. Help me get them out there because I'm trying to get up there. Because when the Google searches come up, I want my videos to pop up. They don't do that currently. But man, I would love to be able to be in the Google search for videos. So again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Like, thumbs up. With that being said, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in, and have a great evening. Stay safe, stay healthy. Until next time, I'll see you.